Why do cats throw up so often? Why are they so constipated? Why do their coats look dull? Or why do even young cats have achy joints and so many allergies? And really, why do so many cats pass away way too soon? Look, there are tons of reasons cats face these problems. But from what I've seen, it really boils down to this. You have a huge say in your cat's well-being just by focusing on what good stuff to put in their bowl and what bad stuff to keep out. I'm Petra Luna, and you might know me from my Cat Crazy channel on YouTube. If you do, you know I'm absolutely obsessed with cats. What you might not know is that two of our own cats, Chopin and Wazoo, crossed the rainbow bridge because of something as seemingly innocent as tainted chicken jerky treats. When they got sick, we had no idea what was happening. Even our wonderful vet couldn't figure out why a 1-year-old cat would suddenly suffer kidney failure. That's when I knew I had to find answers. Were we the only ones going through this? So we sent samples of those jerky treats to a lab, and what we found was shocking. They had traces of a cheap preservative that cats can't handle. Dogs can tolerate it, though it's not healthy for them either. We were unknowingly feeding our cats toxic treats, and I felt so guilty. But it also hit me that other cat parents must be going through the same thing with their furry family members. We started hitting up pet stores and actually reading the ingredient labels on foods from even the biggest, most trusted brands. What I discovered was truly alarming. Those long lists of weird ingredients on the back of the bag raised so many red flags. Look, there are so many options, but do you really know what's good for your cat? Look at this. Who can pronounce this? So many of these foods are packed with unnecessary fillers, strange preservatives, and ingredients you can't even pronounce. There's so much to learn, and once you start digging into those labels, you uncover a lot of dirty secrets. For example, if your cat food lists powdered cellulose, well, guess what? You're essentially feeding your cat sawdust. Yep, that's right. It's used as a filler just to increase profit. Sawdust is way cheaper than meat. And here's the thing. Cats are carnivores. They need a meaty diet, not some trendy vegan concoction with fillers and insects. I began talking to vets, breeders, and other animal experts, and heard so many heartbreaking stories of cats whose lives were cut short. So what to do? After everything I've learned in the many conversations I've had, I can give you 2 tips. The first one is, keep the bad stuff out of your cat's food bowl. Even if a package screams premium, you have to check the ingredient list. Ingredients are listed in descending order by weight, so the first one is the heaviest. If the first thing you see is meat byproducts, put that bag right back where you found it. Because in plain English, it means it's the stuff that's left after the good meat is gone, including materials from diseased animals and, in some cases, even euthanized pets. Seriously.
And yes, pentobarbital, there's been, a few years ago, we had more than 90 million pounds of pet food recalled because it contained pentobarbital, the drug used to euthanize animals.
Other big problems include food dyes, which are known carcinogens for animals. Trust me, your cat doesn't care about the color of their food. Those are added for you, the consumer, to make it look more appealing. And there's more. Food additives like BHT and BHA, meat and bone meals, glucose, and grains like wheat, corn, or rice. Remember, cats are obligate carnivores. Their entire body is designed for hunting and eating prey. Meat. Anything other than meat in their diet should be very limited. Now here's another huge problem, and that's what's not on the label. When they cook canned cat food or kibble, they often use super high heat. And when that happens, it creates those little things called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs for short. These AGEs can actually cause all sorts of problems for your cat, like inflammation, tummy troubles, allergies, achy joints, and get this, they even can be cancer causing. And the crazy thing is, cat food companies don't even have to list them on the label because they're not technically an ingredient. And the only reason your cat even touches this highly processed kibble is thanks to a spray coating they add to the kibble to make it smell good. And here's why the smell is so important. Cats have way fewer taste buds compared to humans or even dogs. Because of this, cats mainly decide what they'll eat by smell before they even take a bite. Dogs are omnivores and can detect sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and savory flavors. But cats, being carnivores, don't need to taste sweet things. It's not necessary for their survival. This makes their food choices very selective. That's why dogs will beg for scraps off your plate, but cats usually won't. If a cat is eating ice cream, for example, they're probably enjoying its fatty, creamy texture and maybe even its protein content. Cats are also more sensitive to bitter compounds than dogs are. This ability to taste bitter evolved as a defense mechanism, basically ringing alarm bells in their noses to help them avoid spoiled food or harmful toxins found in plants and unripe fruits. Of course, cats don't usually eat plants or fruits themselves, but their prey might have. So they'll reject any bitter parts that might be in the prey's gastrointestinal tract. What this all means is no matter how healthy, tasty, or expensive that new food that you just bought for your cat might be, if there's one little ingredient in there that doesn't pass your cat's taste-smell test, your cat will not touch it, period. And there's no way to force a cat to eat. Instinctively, your cat will refuse anything bitter and would rather starve than eat something that could potentially be spoiled or toxic. And since aroma is so incredibly important, it also makes sense that your cat won't like eating leftover food straight from the fridge, since it doesn't smell as savory as warm food. Now you understand why the big brands have to add that spray coating to their kibble. It fools your cat into thinking the food is good, even if it contains meat byproducts and diseased animals. Otherwise, that food wouldn't pass your cat's taste-smell test. For an experiment, try rinsing the kibble you give your kitty to get rid of that coating, and you'll likely notice your cat won't eat it. As their guardian or cat parent, it's up to us to protect them from possible toxins getting into their bodies. Most of our cats nowadays are kept indoors for safety, so they have to rely on us to provide them with healthy food because they can't hunt it for themselves. Alright, so I promised you my second big tip today, and it's super straightforward. Start adding the good stuff to your cat's food bowl. After finding out what all those ingredients really meant, I knew I had to do something. I started making cat food myself at home, so I knew exactly what went into it. And that's when I got the confirmation that it truly was a bad diet that played the biggest role in our cat's health problems. All of a sudden, there was no more vomiting, no more constipation, and they actually finished their plates. Yay! I also noticed their coats became so much shinier. The solution is really quite simple. We should feed them as nature intended them to eat, with minimal ingredients that are rich in essential vitamins, minerals, and a delicious flavor and texture your cat loves. Now, don't get me wrong, you can totally spend hours at the store then chopping up food, freezing it, and then even more hours thawing it all out, especially if you have a house full of cats. It's just a huge hassle, believe me, I know, because I've been there. At one point, 3/4 of my freezer was dedicated just to my cat's food. So while it was a great way to feed them, I knew I had to figure out something much easier. That's why we created Cat Crazy Inc., named after my YouTube channel. I put together an amazing team of devoted cat lovers, including a food scientist. Our mission was very simple: create complete, balanced, nutritious, and healthy meals and assure cat parents they're providing the very best food for their feline family members. We worked on a fantastic chicken recipe for months, making sure we didn't use high heat to avoid those nasty advanced glycation end products that come from high heat cooking. So after all that, we landed on something that really made sense: feeding cats what they'd naturally eat in the wild. That meant raw food with minimal ingredients made right here in the USA. But then we hit another snag. How do you store raw food without it taking over everyone's freezer? That's when we discovered the perfect solution: freeze-dried raw. It's amazing because it doesn't need to be refrigerated, and an unopened bag can just hang out on your shelf for a couple of years. Our fantastic food scientist then whipped up this incredible chicken formula, and let me tell you, our little feline taste testers absolutely devoured it. To make sure everything is super safe, we're really strict about our chicken. Manufactured here in the US with chickens from USDA approved facilities. It's frozen within 45 minutes of being harvested. This quick freezing locks in all those good nutrients our cats need, like taurine for a healthy heart. Our food comes in little pucks that are super easy to crumble apart and mix with a little lukewarm water. And here's the best part. When you add water, it even makes a little bit of a gravy, which your cat is absolutely going to go crazy for. We truly believe that our feline family members deserve not just nutritious food, but also a really high quality of life. Giving them great food can actually help cut down those costly and stressful vet visits. And that's a win-win for everyone. You know, I just want to say a huge thank you for being such an amazing guardian for your cat. You clearly have a big heart, and trust me, your furry friend knows how much you adore them. They really do understand that their entire well-being relies on you, and they appreciate it more than you know. I'd love for you to hop over to catcrazystore.com and see if our freeze-dried raw food is the perfect choice for your cat too. We're incredibly passionate about what we do, and we truly can't wait for your cat to enjoy it as well. Stay cat crazy, my friend. Stay cat crazy with crazy good cat food.